See, the tweet is out.
Okay, we're live. Yes, we're live.
Uh-huh.
Oh gosh. So
Oh yeah. What do
What-
you want to? I couldn't. This was like. I mean, it was fine. It felt like a two-parter that didn't need to be a two-parter.
yeah.
So
It was substantially weaker than the first part.
right, the stakes were not raised at all.
No.
Something
You gonna
about
join us, bud? You gonna join us? Yes. You want to join? Okay, you can talk some family ties with us for a little second.
what is it? After
um.
after it's all downhill. It's all
It's all done. Let's see where you're going.
everyone who's watching right now is getting to see us come up with our opening bit. We usually don't do this on air.
Oh, that's
Hey, this is
gets
great. I
recorded
love this.
This all gets recorded.
Yeah. This is all getting recorded right now.
I got some. Today we learned how Billy Vera and the Beaters got a #1 hit.
All right. Wait, does Henry have one? Does he have something?
Henry,
He just looked-
Henry, do you have something you want to say? No.
No.
Okay, I gotta talk. Okay, do you want to watch? Yes, I'll sit on the couch with you. That way he'll watch SpongeBob and I can talk to you guys.
Oh, cool. All right.
Okay. And people are watching this live, so it's great. It's the creative process. All right. Whenever you're ready, buddy.
Today, here we go. Ready? Testing. Today on Quality Time with Family Ties, we learn the magic of montages.
And in 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Quality Time with Family Ties. I am one of your hosts, Scott Jones. Joining me, as always, Mr. Paul Packler. Paul, how we doing?
Happy days are here again. Da 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 da. It's the DNC tonight.
Bop, bop. Paul, I've never seen you so chipper.
Well, you know, I love when a convention goes well, and I know that this episode will come out weeks after the fact, but tonight I'm having a good time watching all these speeches.
Yeah, Corey, what about you? You feeling chipper?
I'm always feeling chipper when I'm watching Democrats.
Yeah. It's a huge. Oh God, Paul, you made a great post earlier today about it's 2 different planets.
It
And
is.
it just feels it's such a nice, happy world at the DNC.
Oh, good. I thought you were talking more about my "fuck Michael Bloomberg" tweet.
Well, that too. I mean, yeah, he's the only thing kind of
I
bringing
just
it
said
down.
before.
Yeah.
Before you joined us, Scott, I had just said to Paul how much I enjoyed Bloomberg's speech. I loved it. I thought it was just terrific.
I wasn't there to see the look on his face when you said
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Well, first he said, "Wait, you're kidding, right?" No, I'm really not.
When Corey lived in New York, it was Taxi Driver, it was Death Wish. He lived in a very different New York City.
It's true.
It's true.
Paul, what has been your favorite speech so far?
You know, here's the thing. I've been in rehearsals right now, so I haven't gotten to watch anything before tonight. But as of tonight, I think that the speeches that were made by the women who were survivors of Charleston were really, really amazing. And then, even though they weren't professional politicians, I thought theirs were amazing. And then I really liked Joe Biden's. I really liked Gabrielle Giffords was really good. I can't wait to see Obama's tonight.
I think Obama's going to do. Yeah, I think he'll do a great job. And I always do like Biden's speeches. I think he's a great. I think he's a great speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? We're going to have to cut all this out. This is going to be so boring to people talking about...
No.
This has all got to get cut out.
The purpose of this show was to talk politics. We have to do that. See, Henry doesn't want to hear it either.
No.
Henry, what do you think? Okay, you want me to be quiet? I apologize. My son is busy watching episodes of SpongeBob while I talk to you, so I need to
keep it down.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so enough politics. Let's jump into the episode because, Paul, remind us, where were we last week?
We had a kiss, and then we had credits. What's gonna happen? Alex and Ellen kissed. She ran out, and then Trisha came in and said that she was getting married. She made the decision an hour before the dance.
I know. What is gonna happen? Well, we're gonna find out. Because here's the thing, listeners. Okay, we were just talking briefly about this before we started, and we were saying this was kind of a two-parter. Didn't necessarily need to be a two-parter.
Absolutely.
So, as much
I'll
as
tell you why it was a two-parter. The answer is so simple, and it's right in front of us. Michael Gross needed a week off. So we stretched the story over 2 weeks, but we give Michael Gross something to do in the first week because he was in last week's episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
They just had 2 weeks of work, and he needed this week off. They stretched the episode out and gave Michael Gross a week off.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing because they totally just quickly gloss over the fact that he's not in this episode to the point that Alex has a line of "Where's Dad?" and Elise goes, "Surely you remember that he went on a business trip."
They say it twice.
As if to remind us we need to justify where Michael Gross is this week.
Right.
I know. She tells Skippy where Michael Gross is this week.
Exposition, lay a little pipe right in that first scene.
Yeah, it's
the appearances of Skippy, Jennifer, and Mallory are practically needless in this entire episode. They serve no purpose. Maybe Mallory and Alex have a nice scene in the top of the second act together, but that's it.
I know, she's watching. But 1 second, listeners. You guys keep talking. I gotta get.
All right.
Forget quality time with Family Ties. He wants SpongeBob.
Okay.
Yeah. But
I was just gonna wait to see if he. Okay.
Just hold for editing for a sec.
Can we have SpongeBob?
Yes, you can. Okay. All right, picking back up.
And so that's the thing about this episode, is that nothing really happens plot-wise. I mean, there's no arc to this episode. It's just Alex is in trouble, he makes a decision, and then we find out what happens. Right? Does that even count? And guys, does that even count as a plot? I couldn't even tell.
it doesn't. I mean, I would just go as far as say Alex realizes he's in love. I mean, that's the only thing that happens. There's that realization, but we sort of knew that at the end of last week's episode.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what I wrote down, Corey. I was like, okay, this isn't just repeating what we had at the tail end of last week's episode, just kind of extending it for a whole 30 minutes.
That whole beat at the last scene of last week's episode is now a microcosm of what this week's episode is.
Yeah, it's like they just tried to use it to fill up time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Which leads me once again to the fact that, wow, we don't have Michael Gross. What should we do? Well, last scene in episode 1, well, let's just stretch it out. Let's expand and heighten that one scene. In the second week, give Michael the week off. God bless. If you have herpes, I hope the herpes clears up. Whatever it is, Michael Gross. Whatever issue you have, you take 7 days, and we'll see you next Monday, okay?
Is that all it takes for herpes to go away? I'm going to start Googling that.
I thought you
By the way,
were stuck with you for a
turns out if
while.
somebody put herpes for Michael Gross on his Wikipedia page, I'll feel so important. So somebody do.
Allegedly.
Yes,
Allegedly.
Thank you, legal.
Allegedly.
The other thing is Skippy comes in because his parents won't feed him.
Well, apparently, yes, that seems to be true.
And it's funny because this is the first time we're seeing Mark Price since season 3, and holy shit, he shot up. He's like a man now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like a boy teenager into a man teenager.
Yeah, it's so funny. It reminded me of between 9th and 10th grade, apparently my voice changed. And I guess because my family was so repressed, they didn't tell me that it was happening. Like, I don't even remember my voice changing. It was like the first day of school in 10th grade, I went back, and people were like, Paul, your voice changed. And it was just like, I can't trust my family for anything.
You could have given me a heads up, Mom and Dad.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I'm actually just saying that to subtweet my mom, who's watching right now.
Oh, your mom. Oh, real quick, your mom's watching right now. Miss Packler, thank you so much for the quilts you're making for our little baby and for Henry. That is so nice of you.
Yes, so to our listeners, my mom is starting her own quilting company where she and a friend are making quilts. I'm looking up the name right now. That way I can get it right because I've had a few glasses of wine. Lullaby Quilts and More. If you go on Facebook and search for Lullaby Quilts and More, you can get updates, you can get great deals on quilts. They're all homemade by my mom, and she can send them to you. So if you have themes, if you have stuff, Scott will be able to attest to how wonderful they are very soon.
Oh, absolutely. We'll be posting some pictures as soon as they come in. That's awesome.
Corey, I think you're looking for a testimonial, perhaps, or...
Well, I'll have grandchildren soon, I'm sure. So your mom can get to work on that.
Look
There
at
we
that!
go.
See,
There we go.
all these business opportunities.
And
Exactly.
in the meantime, of course, Logan's still hoping for a brother or sister. Apparently, he hasn't read my birth certificate.
Oh.
Oh man.
So we see Skippy in his bathrobe. By the way, once again, walking in without knocking, just walking on in. What if Elise was masturbating in the kitchen?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
No expectation.
Corey just made his wife laugh out loud.
Yeah, I mean, her husband's away.
Really? What if she was masturbating? What if she was
Yeah.
rubbing one out? I'm not really sure.
Right.
What Skippy? Knock before walking inside the house.
I don't know. That's a pretty open area, the Keaton kitchen.
It is. You're right. There, it goes right out to the gardens in the back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's that fourth wall where there's like a studio of people. So I mean, like you're really chancing it if you start like flipping your bean.
Right.
Lord. But then I love it when Jennifer and Mallory come on in, and apparently they've now made the conscious decision to butch Jennifer up.
Yeah,
'Cause-
she's like pissed at Skippy. Like she's total like,
And her baseball team's name is the Bullets. That
Yep.
would not fly today.
yeah.
Oh, no, it wouldn't.
Oh God, no.
And
Except
then
the NRA would lobby that it would be all right for it to be the Bullets.
of course.
Mhm.
And then Mallory
Right.
is dressed like she's straight out of a Duran Duran video. Did you guys see that jacket?
Yeah, she's looking more and more 80s every week now.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
So Alex,
Do you
apparently,
think they just brought Skippy in for?
Yeah, go
Oh,
ahead.
I was gonna say, do you think they brought Skippy in for this scene just because Michael Gross was gone?
Maybe, what's the scene where Alex does have that scene where he wishes he could talk to Dad and then he forces himself to talk to Mom about his.
Yeah.
That felt like they were
It just
really.
felt like 'cause
I don't
Skippy
even know.
serves-
I don't know why you would have such an aversion about talking about romance with your mom, or
I do.
like.
I thought the same thing. I thought it doesn't really much matter. A parent will do. If both were there, that might be better. But I'm not really sure why it was such an issue.
Yeah, it really felt like they were searching for an obstacle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
especially since spoiler alert, until the very end, then he finally does talk to Elise. It
Yes,
kind of builds
exactly.
up for nothing. Yeah. So yeah, and then we have Alex comes. Okay, so Alex comes in. He's been up early, walking around, morning, thinking about this tragedy of life of how the girl he's in love with is getting married.
It's like, all right, you know.
Yeah.
The whole thing was, and you know what? That's really every moment, from moment to moment in this whole episode. It's like, all right, whatever. It was, and the fact is, and that's not even to mention how good Tracy Pollan is, because she's still consistently good. There's never
She
a moment
is.
that she's not. So she's totally forgiven. But remember, in part one of this, we even said that the writing was up a notch. And here, once again, I think Tracy Pollan pulls it off. But and Michael Fox too. They pull it off. It's just not written really well.
No, not at all. There's a total drop in quality from last episode to this episode, and I was kind of expecting that was going to happen.
But we kind of mentioned that last week. The jokes seemed sharper. It seemed like a much more sharply written sitcom, whereas most of this past season, season 3, most of that season, our greatest complaint was it just wasn't funny.
Right.
So they went and got some new writers, and they sharpened up the jokes, and then I felt like they sort of fell flat in this episode, but I'm going to give them a mulligan on this one.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because we have Tracy Collins to look forward to, and we also have Nick Valentine appearing on next week's episode.
Oh, really? Did you look ahead and he's coming in?
I did.
Oh, Nick is coming in?
Yeah, it's the Meet Scott. It's the Meet Nick Scott Valentine. I'm sorry. It's Meet Nick is next week.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Henry is a huge Nick fan.
Can you say Nick is coming in? Say it. Nick is coming in. See, Henry's excited.
Nick loves derivative Sylvester Stallone-based characters.
Yep.
Derivative.
Yep.
Hey,
Mr. Keaton.
Like the breakdown had to say Sylvester Stallone type.
Oh, absolutely. And so we skip ahead. So it's like that. It's all a setup of here's where we left off. Here's all of the emotional stuff that's going on with Alex, and then we go to class. Some sort of a history class. Now let's not forget, Alex is a sophomore, and then Trisha's there, and Ellen's there, who are both freshmen. Right. Ellen is an art major, Alex is an econ major, and Trisha is, I don't know, going there to, like, join a sorority.
And I can't believe she's in the same school that Ellen and Alex are in. Also, what classroom in the college is that small and intimate? We've seen lecture halls on the first day of school when he went. That was more of a lecture hall. Why didn't we make this like an 18-person classroom at Leland College?
Yeah, it looked like Saved by the Bell, or it looked like Boy Meets World. It was the smallest classroom ever. They had that other classroom set from when Alex took that American history class.
Exactly. And here, so we start the scene, and of course Trisha and Ellen are both in the classroom at the same time. But Alex is with Trisha because at this point in time in the plot, he's with Trisha. And then Ellen comes in, and like right in front of Trisha, with no subtlety whatsoever, he just sort of dumps Trisha like a fucking hot potato and goes and spends time with Ellen. And that, too, was a microcosm of this whole episode. The whole second act, I don't ever think they mention the word Trisha at all. There's nothing about... And I always find that funny. When someone breaks up with somebody, if it's a character who's your hero, he shouldn't do it in a douchey way. Mm-hmm. And in this case, it's sort of kind of douchey what he does.
Oh, God, just imagine after, like, I'm sure they'll never bring it up in future episodes, but, like, when Ellen comes back from Lancaster, and actually, they mispronounced the name this whole episode. It's Lancaster as opposed to Lancaster. And for anyone who cares, except for our one listener, Dana, who is from Lancaster.
That's correct.
So okay.
Yeah. And so I'm expecting her to write in with any trivia if she's listening.
And you know, my brother lives in Harrisburg. So if I ever go to visit my brother, I have to fly into Lancaster.
Boom!
Lancaster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that, imagine Ellen coming back from her trip home, and then she's dating Alex, and she's living with Trisha, and she's dating Alex now.
This is a terribly uncomfortable situation for all of us.
Yeah.
Everybody. Yeah. And we find out even more because they start taking the test, and Alex is so in love with them. We have this huge montage. And we see stuff in this montage, like, they've had a history together.
Apparently, I'm wondering if they shot this for last week's episode.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's maybe the first time I've ever seen a montage where there are clips that you didn't see before.
Yes. 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 And I was like, how did you have time to do all this stuff with Ellen when you're dating Trisha?
This outtakes was this edits from last week's episode. You figured, hey, we'll Michael, take the week off. Hope your herpes clears up. We'll throw in some shit from last week that we cut out, and you just enjoy and get some of the canker medicine.
Our apologies to Michael Gross.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I met him once in Chicago, and he seemed completely fine in the mountains.
And that's when he went in. He said the words flare up to the producer.
Oh, look at this. Dana just tweeted us. She has way better sense than we do. She said, I'm trying to watch the DNC and the podcast at the same time, so I apologize if I can't contribute as much. It's fine. American politics are so much more important than family.
Yes.
But I asked Dana, and I also asked you the same question, Paul. Don't we have a DVR?
For what?
To tape. When you said, I was in rehearsals and I couldn't watch the convention, you don't have a DVR?
Oh, well, sure, but I still just didn't have time. You know, I have many things going on, Corey. I write for a blog. I'm in rehearsals. I do this podcast. I'm writing a play, you know.
And
He's a busy man, Corey.
Every one of those things is fine, and when you put it together in one big speech, you're a douchebag. That's all.
Corey, how can I find time to watch TV when I need to pull on my skinny jeans with pliers? Do you know how many hours that takes?
And you do realize that 30 is the cutoff for skinny jeans.
Well, it turns out I'm 29, so it's great.
Paul, I would just like to point out, I am currently watching a 3.5-year-old and doing this podcast at the same time. So.
Oh, well, sure. Well, I mean, you're the best of us, Scott. That's what everyone knows.
Oh, don't put that pressure on me.
So we have these. When did they go outdoor on location somewhere?
It's so weird.
Because they clearly had to go somewhere. Maybe it was just right at Warner Brothers on the back lot. But boy, they have outdoor shots, and then they do that thing that I hate the most. The bell rings, and we come out of the montage. Oh, we're out of the montage. It's over now.
Yeah, and everyone's left. Yeah.
And the scene is left as a giant wet fart when he crumbles up the paper. He never even took the test.
Yeah, like nothing happens from this.
It's out of character for Alex. Maybe that's what they wanted.
Yeah. I mean, that's stakes, Corey. That's some high stakes. He's willing to take a 0 on that exam for love.
Mm-hmm.
For Alex P. Keaton, yeah. I even wrote that down. I was like, wow, Alex is willing to fail a test for this girl.
And you know what? In that flashback, Ellen is wearing this white and blue sweater that, like, Kurt Cobain would wear type thing. And I'll tell you, Tracy Pollan is just gorgeous. Every outfit, her hair. When she comes in to take the test, her hair is just like Bridget Bardot. It's amazing.
Looks like it smells good too.
Oh
yeah. You know it does.
Just that alone is taking me into a Lady in Red montage in my own mind. Krista Berg started playing, and I just looked off.
Lady in Red is
dancing
for me. Now cut to a new set, which they get 2 uses of today.
Yes, for 2 different locations. Hey.
Yes, we're 2
train
different
station's a train station, my friend.
Train station in Lancaster. And in Lancaster and in Dayton, I would guess.
Leland. which is supposed to be Columbus.
Oh, okay. And in both places, the train station's the same. And yet, we have a really interesting. God, I'm glad they gave this kid a job. That shoe shine boy. That really made this episode.
Speaking of politics, that kid was totally a Chachi ripoff.
Oh, yeah.
The casting director was like, get us a Chachi, and they did.
We need a Chachi. All he's got to do is shine some shoes.
And he can't even do that right. I wrote it down. He totally fucked up the bit.
Uh-huh.
So, like...
Yeah, he did.
Michael J. Fox is trying to talk and get a shoe shine at the same time. Emotions get all headed up, and he starts trying to chase after Ellen as they're running around the train station, but the kid is still trying to shine the shoes, and it's making his job more difficult. And then the kid starts anticipating when Michael J. Fox is going to move, and it fucks up the bit.
The comedy bit screwed up. The kid anticipated, and it wasn't moment to moment. He wasn't watching carefully. And I also think that he was just a kid actor who they were throwing a job to, because we never even saw his face.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Because Michael J. Fox is doing a great job with that bit.
But Ellen, in this scene, was she braless?
I want to say in my brain, yes. Or in my heart. In my heart, I want to say yes. In my loins, I want to say yes.
Heart and loins say yes.
I had two possibilities. She was either braless, or they were keeping the studio particularly chilly that day.
Or Michael J. Fox is just one charming motherfucker.
Absolutely. I think all that bonus montage footage is him and Tracy Pollan falling in love.
Well, she looked great, and the scene was fine, and yet every moment of that scene, I just wanted, let's move this along and get to its inevitable conclusion that we all know what's happening.
Yeah.
Right.
But, and I'll say it every time, when she is on screen with Michael J. Fox, their acting, their chemistry is just awesome. It's just fun.
Right.
It's just fun to watch. In the same way of, like, your screwball comedies from the 30s, where it's just like people are just like, I don't know, they just ping off each other in a way that, like, the rest of the show, you never see that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. And then so they had this big fight in the train station. Alex is short of saying that he loves her.
Right.
And she storms off. It's just this, tension, this palpable tension between them. And Alice is back at home, sitting on the couch in a tuxedo because he's going to this economic faculty meeting to hobnob.
You know what? Let's pause right there, because when she runs off to take the train, that's when we go to commercial.
That's a commercial. So hobnobbing.
Let's take a break for the tuxedo. Let's let Alex have time to get into his tuxedo. We'll be right back. So, make sure all stuff is good. All right, you guys ready?
Let's do it.
And we're back. Tuxedo time.
Looking sharp, looking good, but broken-hearted.
Do you think Alex P. Keaton owns a tuxedo or rented that tuxedo?
Well, that was just something that occurred to me as well. I don't know a lot of 20-year-olds in Dayton, Ohio, Leland, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, who own a tux. I'm a 60-year-old man, and I don't own a tux. I've worn plenty of costumes.
In the final scene, he makes a joke about having to get the tuxedo back on time.
You're right. He said it was rented.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scott. Good dramaturgical work. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Hey, I'm on it. That's...
my question, the reason that I had the question initially was, he's tying that bow tie. When you rent a tux, usually it's a hook and eye job.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. But then we don't have the great bit of him just, I can't tie this damn tie.
And by the way, later on in this scene, Elise walks behind him and ties the tie like she's going to the Oscars for the 16th year in a row.
Yeah.
How does a woman, a stay-at-home mom, how does she know how to tie a tuxedo bow tie? Like, boom, 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 there you go, out the door.
Yeah, let's not think for a moment that Stephen Keaton has ever worn a tuxedo in his life.
Yeah.
Oh, God, no. Not even for the fundraisers at the station. Yeah.
What's Henry doing? What is that? What does that sound?
Oh, all these sounds, listeners, are he's just basically throwing around his toys at the moment.
Oh, okay.
He's keeping occupied. So I apologize. For any
No, I was just curious.
background noise. Yeah. But he'll have some things to say when Nick comes.
Of course.
This was this was a kind of an interesting scene though, because it's like it took forever to get to the moment of Alex really talking. Like first they have Jennifer come in. He doesn't want to talk to Jennifer. Then they have Mallory come in. He doesn't want to talk to Mallory, which I thought would have been an interesting choice. It looked like that's what was about to happen.
Mallory's
finally,
talking to him.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see the tables turn a little bit. And it seemed like Mallory wanted to talk to him, like she knew something was going on.
Yep.
And then, so finally, Elise comes down and he opens up about how he feels about Ellen.
And Elise gets all excited because this is the first time that Alex has been in love, even though Henry's playing Jack.
Henry's like
or throwing bricks. I don't know which one is.
Luckily, nothing's too heavy, and I will get knocked out.
So this is like the first time Alex has been in love, which is great for Elise because now when he has sex, it won't be someone who's 40 years old.
Right. Yeah.
Elise is just happy that his girlfriend is of his own generation.
Right. And if she knew more about Ellen, she would love Ellen.
Yeah.
Like her and Elise will get along great.
Absolutely. And so she's like, "Oh, you look like your dad or something," and Michael J. Fox does this interesting impersonation of Michael Gross.
Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, it was weird.
And he comes to the conclusion that, he tells Elise that he loves her. By the way, he gives absolutely no real reason. Does he ever give a real reason for loving her? He hasn't spent a significant amount of time, in my opinion, to actually fall in love. I'm not necessarily sure.
It feels like it's just like opposites attracting, but that's what we're supposed to get to. But
at like the same time, I don't know, guys. We're all old men. Have you ever fallen in love in 2 weeks?
Yeah, I could say yeah.
Both of you, shut the fuck up.
And by the way, can I just point out that we're the two that are married?
Yeah, there you go. Fair enough. No, but wait. I want to investigate this. What I'm saying is that it's not that you're not like sexually attracted or that you really enjoy spending time or have a major crush or really, really want to spend all your time with this person. But to really say love, like you wouldn't in 2 weeks say I love you.
Sure, I could have said that during the 2 weeks, but in retrospect, I look back and realized that I fell in love.
Guys, let's hold on for 1 second.
Okay,
sorry.
that's fine. Give
me hold one time for editing. Let me see if I can get out here. You stay right here. All right. Can you hear me okay, Paul?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, let's keep it going.
Okay, so what were you saying, Corey? In
retrospect, I thought, now when I look back upon it, I realize I was in love at the time. I don't think when I was in love in the moment, I don't think I thought I'm in love.
Right. Right. And to be fair,
Yeah.
Alex is 19 years old,
Yes.
maybe 20, so for him to throw around the word love is not as ridiculous. But
And more significant is this is the first time. It's not like he's some Lothario who's gone through this over and over and over again. He's admitting this is the first time I've ever even thought of myself as being in love with someone.
right. Absolutely.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I would say. Yeah, I think Paul, you're right. I mean, I would never say I love you in those 2 weeks. It would be more. It would feel more like a crutch.
Right. What is Henry even saying? He says so many words. What does he say?
He does. Yeah, he'll be commentating on the show at some point, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure.
He's going to he's taking a piss.
Oh, he's taking a
Just letting me know.
I'm always so reticent whenever I'm peeing. I just it's because I was raised Catholic, so I'm just very quiet every time I'm very contemplative.
I don't want anyone to know.
Yeah, it's all shameful.
Okay, so and then we had this weird transition of the car. We see isn't this? Have we ever seen the Keaton family car at this point?
No, but it's a Volvo, isn't it?
It's a Volvo.
Of course, the Keatons.
Right, makes sense. But it's this weird, like, we see the car drive to the fork in the road and then turn around, making the decision.
Footage from Benny Hill to me.
It did.
Other than the signs, which were strictly American, everything else looked like it was footage from Benny Hill.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being of that second unit film crew who had to fly out from LA to somewhere in central Pennsylvania or Ohio just to get that one shot of a car at night? That's so awful.
Oh, that's super
Oh.
Some girl asks you out. She's like, hey, you want to go on a date this weekend? And you're like, I can't. I have a job for Family Ties. Oh, my God, I love Family Ties. What are you doing? I'm flying out to Youngstown, Ohio to do this night shoot of a car driving past a sign.
on Highway 43.
Yeah.
And you can't even make it up. So is Michael J. Fox going to be there?
Yeah.
No, it's just the car.
Who's going to be there? Just me and a lighting guy.
That's
pretty much
Actually,
it.
no. I misspoke. I am Michael J. Fox. See, I'm the one driving the Volvo.
Yeah. So I guess you could say I'm a stand-in.
Right.
Yeah. And then we get the second use of our train station set. What'd you guys think of the janitor in this scene?
Well,
Corey, I think this is your friend, right?
this is indeed a friend of mine.
Oh.
Someone I worked with when I first came out to Los Angeles for a pilot season in 1980. 83, I want to say. I did a musical out here, the first musical written by Howard Ashman and Alan Menken, the musical version of Kurt Vonnegut's God Bless You, Mr. Rosewater.
Oh, wow. Wow.
That was the first musical they wrote, and it's a small cast musical. It's about an 8-person musical. And this actor, Peter Van Norden, played Mr. Rosewater in the production that I did out here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very, very talented actor. Couldn't necessarily tell that from this, but a really good actor. I still run into him at the grocery store periodically.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
He had great, unlike Chachi, he had great comedic timing.
Unlike Chachi. Exactly. They
Yeah.
gave 2 characters from a train station, a kid and a fat guy, and the fat guy at least had good timing.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. Maybe this is like they're sort of tying together themes of life and death and love.
But it was also, I thought it was another unnecessary expenditure on their part. We didn't need Chachi. We didn't need this character. They didn't advance the story at all. Of course, really what we've said for the last half hour is that nothing advances the story because there is no story.
No.
Right. I just expected this janitor to have a good joke. It's like they didn't even. He seems like a really good comedic timing, and they don't give him like a really good joke.
Nothing.
In this entire scene, I'm like, what? Well, that's kind of a waste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I just did not even care at all to do the math of whether or not the train traveling, like, I'm not in fucking high school.
No, don't do that.
The drive, how fast? You see, it was almost like a question you get like on a math test that I couldn't solve.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How fast
The train
did
is traveling.
have to drive this many miles when a train travels at this many miles per hour?
Yes. It's oh
Okay.
my God.
And is it an express train or a local? How many stops did it make? Was there a layover somewhere?
Probably in Pittsburgh.
I was going to say, my guess is Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Oh my God, Corey,
Because
can you imagine if Ellen Reed had met 2-year-old Paul Packler in Pittsburgh, and she was like, "Wait a second, you're so charming and attractive."
At 2.
At 2. And then I married Ellen Reed. Oh.
Oh, Paul. It was this close, Paul. This close.
Really, it was a lost opportunity.
Sliding doors, my friend.
Corey, you have like a cough. Are you?
No, I'm just choking. I don't know. I have a tick in the back of my throat. It is actually just Elizabeth. It is literally.
Allegedly, it's just a tickle.
And that the mustache is covering an alleged herpes on my lip as well.
So Alex drives past the speed of sound in order to catch this train. And
or back in time.
Oh. And so he's down on a bench and he's like, "Oh shit, I lost her."
And thank God for her urinary infection that she had to go to the back.
That's what it was. They didn't have cranberry juice on the train.
Allegedly had a urinary infection.
But yeah, I mean, this final, again, because it's Tracy Pollan and Michael J. Fox, this final scene is great.
And so we have this long-ass scene in which, thank God, she's there. Actually, they're both good in the scene. It's just not a very interesting
long,
scene.
I'll give it. Yeah.
We're just waiting to the I love you and I love you too. And thank God, of course, the whole time I'm thinking, did he stand Trisha up at that dance?
Yeah.
He really, really did. Now, I was waiting for a little, like, a hole to bring this up, but Dana was tweeting us and saying that at F&M, the school that's in Lancaster, there's a thing called the Declaration Dinner that happens in your sophomore year, and that could be what was happening at Leland, perhaps, that there's like an economics dinner.
Oh.
So.
Oh.
And she's saying that there was no way he could have beaten the train. I'm waiting to check her math on that. So
yeah,
I'll believe it when I see it.
Let's see. Yeah, give us the details, Dana.
She's all like, he couldn't make it, and I'm like, Dana, did you watch the show? He made it.
He was there, Dana. We saw the car turn around.
Yeah, here's my question to you guys.
We saw the...
So she confesses she's 7 hours ago she's willing to take a train from Leland to Lancaster to get married to Dennis.
Yes.
She gets interrupted after urinating, and he says, "I love you," and she says, "I love you too." How did we go from that place that she was willing to get married that day, because I think it was, or the next day.
Yeah,
To
Sunday.
I
That's
Love
Sunday.
You Out. It seems, and my only question is, when a writer does that, don't they realize they're making their character mentally unstable?
Oh God, yeah.
Or do they just expect for the general public to accept everything they do and not to pay any attention to it? Because to me, I'm thinking, what about Dennis? At least she said, I need to see Dennis. And I was glad at least she's gonna go and at least let Dennis down. But what happened to this woman over, 7 hours? That 1 minute I'm gonna marry this guy, the next minute I'm dumping his ass and I'm in love with somebody else.
You know what? It made me think of something. In I don't know, maybe in the time before there was home video, when people could re-watch shows, it's like audiences, and I had to look up the term, object permanence. You know how babies, when you cover their eyes, they think everything is dead or something? Like if you go away, you no longer exist.
That's why Peekaboo is such an effective game with a child.
Right, exactly.
Right.
And so I feel like with audiences in the 80s, before VHS tapes were a thing, if you weren't on screen, audiences did not give a shit about you. You were just a thing. There was no reality.
And it's even crazier, Corey, because she even says to Alex that on the train she thought, well, if Alex is at the train station when I get off, I won't marry Dennis.
And I thought, now she seems like she's playing games.
Yeah, that's just a crazy assumption. He's good. He's gonna drive 8 hours.
Somebody I'm not really in love with.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
Because I really like you, Ellen, and I'm happy you're on the show, and I think Tracy Pollan's terrific. But don't sound crazy to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, is that they kiss at the dance thing. Let's assume that's on a Friday or Saturday or Sunday night. Then he sees her a day or two later at the final, or the test, or whatever, the midterm. And he says, I haven't seen you since the kiss at the dance. And she's like, well, I'm getting married on Sunday. And he's like, a Sunday? And she's like, no, this Sunday. So she got engaged and is getting married within a week.
Yeah.
Which is mentally unstable again. I rest my case.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I want to talk about the Billy Vera and the Beaters song that keeps playing in this.
Yes.
Because it just gets stuck. Because I love this song growing up, listening to it. But you're listening to the lyrics, and the lyrics, it's a breakup song. It's a total breakup song.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's played as their kind of romantic, coming together. But really, if you think about it, this is actually Dennis's song. Because everything Billy Vera is singing about in this song, Dennis is about to experience.
Oh my God. Scott, you just broke the fucking Rosetta Stone.
It is.
Foreshadowing. The song is foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What, did you think, you're telling me you don't love me anymore? Did you think I would, standing there with tears in your eyes? That's what's going to happen to Dennis in a few hours.
And that's the thing, is that they allude to this circumstance where she says to Alex, I have to go talk to Dennis.
Yeah. She's going to go, yeah, she obviously has to. He's expecting her. They're going to get married. And this is the conversation that's going to be taking place.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Poor Dennis.
Poor Dennis.
What are you looking at, Corey? I see you looking at something.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to get the image back. I was trying to reduce something that had popped up.
Oh, I thought you were looking up information. I was excited.
No, it was just an old man looking at a computer. Something we've seen plenty of times.
Oh, man.
Henry's still excited about Nick? Nick's coming next week?
Hey, bud, can you say, I can't wait for Nick?
I can't wait for Nick.
Yeah. Yeah, right? He's joining the family business.
That's amazing. And so, the final, like, I love you back, it's a wonderful moment as far as, I mean, I could do without the monologues. There's a lot of monologuing happening. But,
yeah.
I don't know, when they kiss, I got all fluttery. I was all like, oh, look at them.
It's a beautiful moment, no doubt. But yeah. But we're excited that Tracy Pollan's on the show.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm glad that she as a character is here. And like we said last week, I can't wait to see how she plugs into the other family dynamics.
Exactly. Paul, do we have a count of how many episodes she's on in this season?
I didn't, but Corey, didn't you say she's on until next season?
Next season she's on. Yeah, she's on through next season. I think she does like 17 episodes in a season and a half or two.
Okay.
Wow.
So, for a while.
Well, so they're really shaking some things up. You've got Nick being introduced for Mallory and Ellen being introduced for Alex.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're off and rolling. Well, guys, we are now officially into season 4. Looking forward to it. Paul, anything else you want to say?
You know what? When Alex does his little monologue of "I love you," that's "I love you, I love you, I love you. I'm crazy about you. I'll do anything to be with you. I can't live without you. Sorry, I gotta go." In Muppet Babies, whenever they would open the closet door, they would have shots of like Star Wars or from famous like Raiders of the Lost Ark. And one time, Piggy opened the closet door, and it was the shot of Michael J. Fox doing that line from Family Ties. And so it just, I don't know, it's just a cute thing. So I just thought that was that's my only other little fun bit of trivia about this episode.
Well, I was also going to set you up to plug something because tell everybody what you're rehearsing for right now.
Oh, Walking on Sunshine?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So if you're in New York City or thereabouts, by the time you're hearing this episode, we're just about to open. I'll post on the Quality Time with Family Ties Facebook and Twitter the details of like the theater. It's at Soho Playhouse, I believe. It's 5 different dates in August. Come see it. It's such a funny show. It's like Bowfinger, but with Christopher Walken, and it's a farce. So it's just crazy characters running all over the stage. So,
awesome.
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, of course. Corey, anything you want to plug?
Almost said something filthy, so no.
My mind went to the exact same place.
I know, I was hoping
you were like, let's end the show so I can.
And on that note, listeners, for questions and comments, be sure to write us at qualitytimewithfamilyties@gmail.com. Be sure to rate and review our show on iTunes. And also, for any updates, follow us on Twitter at QTWFT. We're also on Twitter. I'm at Follow Jones.
I'm at Paul Packler.
I'm at Corpep.
And be sure to like our Facebook page. We want to thank our host and producer, Barbara Dillon at Fanbase Press. Fanbase Press is an online conglomerate of geek media providing its readers with daily insights into the geek pop culture spectrum. We also like to thank Perry Adams, who beautifully performs this theme song. Right, Henry? Beautifully performs the theme song without us. Be sure to check out Perry's music at perryadams.com. We like to thank Brian Dillon, who does our artwork and edits our show. He is also the president of Fanbase Press. What? Oh, big screen. Okay. Back to Brian. Brian is the president of Fanbase Press. Oh, excuse me. Do you want to say hello to everybody? Yes.
I'm having this.
Okay, you can have that. Yes. I'm going to start this over.
I think Mommy's not coming today.
Yeah, probably not.
Maybe I got first.
Yeah, you have it. Let's start this one over, shall we, gentlemen?
Sure, go for it.
Sorry, guys.
No.
All right, picking back up. And on that note, we'd like to I was on such a run. All right.
You were like.
And on that note, listeners.
You were Harold Hill from The Music Man for a little bit there.
I was. I know I was. All right. And on that note, listeners, for questions and comments, be sure to write us at qualitytimewithfamilyties@gmail.com. And for updates, follow us on Twitter at QTWFT. You can also follow each of us on Twitter. I'm at Follow Jones.
I'm at Paul Packler.
I'm at Corpep.
And be sure to like our Facebook page. And we'd like to thank our host and producer, Barbara Dillon at Fanbase Press. Fanbase Press is an online conglomerate of geek media providing its readers with daily insights and reviews into the geek pop culture spectrum. We also like to thank Perry Adams, who beautifully performs the theme song Without Us. Be sure to check out Perry's music at perryadams.com. And we'd like to thank Brian Dillon. Brian does our artwork and edits our show. He's also the president of Fanbase Press. Be sure to follow him at Comic Book Slayer on Twitter. And lastly, Sean Foster, Fanbase Press graphic designer, who did our logo. Thank you, everybody, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
La la la.